everyone. Welcome to Backstory Sessions. I'm your host, Matt. We hope you enjoy this episode.
Hey everybody, it's Kat, and I want to welcome you to this episode of Backstory Sessions. I'm joined today by my co-host, Matt. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Kat. Hey, everyone. How are you?
Season 9. We have made it to begin a new season.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It is good to be back. This season is going to be a little bit longer than the other ones, so we can get in a lot more guests this time.
Well, everybody wants to be on, so,
And we definitely want them, of course.
Yeah, of course. Just,
yeah.
It's a lot of work. Podcasting is the hardest job ever, I've heard, and, but we enjoy what we do, so here we are.
Here we are. Season 9, that's getting pretty far up there. I mean, we're over 120 episodes now, so.
I believe so, yes. Almost like, I think we're closing in on 130, if I'm not mistaken.
And 30,000 downloads. I mean, things have been good for this year as far as the podcast goes. And our guests, we've had amazing ones. We got amazing ones coming up this season. In fact, next week on Mother's Day, we have special guest Chapel Hart. And, everybody wants to have them as a guest, right?
Yeah, they were, weren't they in Rolling Stone recently?
They were, yes. A great article about them in Rolling Stone and, about the way that they are able to take songs and then they make the little storylines from those.
Mm-hmm.
It's really amazing. And they were, of course, from America's Got Talent.
And they have a new album coming out.
They have, and we're going to talk all about that. So I feel like, for guests that we are starting off really strong for season 9. Of course, the listeners have to get through this episode with us because...
Well, I mean, we're pretty good guests, I think, don't you?
Probably better guests than host. No, I think we do. I think we're all right. So people have stuck with us, and they seem to enjoy one or both of us.
Wow. What are you trying to say, Kat?
I mean, depending on who's, being critiqued for saying, or
right,
some other.
Yeah.
But we have a new theme song, intro music. People will notice that right off, and probably at first they'll be like, wait, what happened to Backstory?
Right, yeah. Well, we've been talking about changing it for a while, and, you have to use royalty-free music, of course. So, I know you searched for a bunch of different ones, and this is the one we agreed on, so...
Yeah, and it was the first one I sent to you, so when you also liked it, I figure that's a pretty good sign that it's going to be the one because, with music, like there's so many choices out there, finding one that we both kind of like at the beginning is, that's pretty much a sign, I feel like.
Yeah, there was one that sounded, I don't know, to me, it sounded like something like Michael Jackson, maybe, or something. I don't know. You said it was, I don't remember what you said, to be honest with you, but...
See, guys, I told you he never listens to what I'm saying. There's proof of it right there.
Right.
But
No, I remember you said something. I just don't remember what it was. But there was something about the music, and I was like, well, it sounds like Michael Jackson to me. So.
She's like, all that noise. I know she's making it. I just don't know what any of it means.
Yeah,
But, I mean, to me, like, you want something, it's really hard to pick intro music because, like, I want something kind of happy and upbeat, but at the same time, a lot of those sound really, I don't know, cheesy
stupid.
or
Yeah,
like
yeah, cheesy.
elevator music or,
Right.
so
So that brings me to our discussion that we had a couple weeks ago about oldies music.
yes, we had that in the group, and you and I had talked about it before I posted it, but um, apparently the listeners that chimed in the group, they agreed with us that a lot of these songs that we're hearing, you were hearing on the oldies station, are not oldies.
Yeah, I just felt a little. I don't know, sort of.
Old.
Well, yeah, I am old, but I felt a little. I don't know. I was kind of like offended. I think when they were calling things like I don't know.
Summer of '69. Let's start with that. Brian
Yeah,
Adams.
yeah. Well, I mean, even though he mentions the summer of '69, it doesn't mean that that's when it came out and it's an old song,
Exactly.
so it should be on the oldie station, you know.
Right.
But I mean, there's other songs like Stairway to Heaven or Pink Floyd or something like that. I mean, they're still played a lot these days, right?
Well, my station, you see, calls it classic rock, and that's what I listen to. Um, your station calls it oldies for some reason. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I was kind of offended by that, but I don't know. Just
Well, I'm glad that the listeners were supportive of the fact that, while those songs are not currently, just released, they still are not old enough to be oldies.
yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not old enough to be an oldie either, but
exactly. Like there's levels of
of
old.
oldies,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm at like
Um,
level one.
well, like almost pre-oldie, really. I feel like. Well,
Yes.
I am. I'm gonna call myself pre-oldie. Well, so I guess 55 technically is kind of the, when you start getting the AARP
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
mailings and whatever. So, once you get 55, I guess that is the technically old
I
point.
always thought it was like when you like retired, then you were old.
Well, but you got like AARP, when you turn 55, you are going to get bombarded with their
Yeah, of
mailing.
course. Yeah. What was
So,
what's the other one? AARP, and then there's like another one that used to send me stuff all the time.
well, I don't know. I just remember getting that, and getting it is kind of a weird feeling because, you know,
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I got the first one, and I was kind of like, "What the hell is this? I'm not old."
right, exactly. Um, I mean, and then, if you like, have you been in the store or something and they ask you, if you get the senior citizens discount?
I have not. I have not done that yet, but
I have not had that either, but I do know some people that haven't. That's a hard thing for, like,
yeah, I mean, when I'm counting out pennies out of my change purse or whatever, then I will consider myself old.
well, the one thing that I have noticed, that makes me feel somewhat older, is that when you're scrolling back to enter your birth date, on like a form,
Yeah, it's
and you're
like when you
like,
spin that wheel on the Wheel of Fortune, you know?
yes, it is like that. It's like, holy moly, am I really like that far back?
Yeah, yeah.
So, so little things like that kind of remind me, you know,
Oh, you
that
know what I
I,
hate? You know what I hate when you have to do that? Um, you have to enter your birth date and it goes by month. Like you have to scroll back by month,
yes,
and that takes like 20 minutes.
I know. Um, so I hate all about that. And, whoever's in charge of these forms online and the apps and stuff, they need to like revamp that and just let you type it in because, you know,
Yeah.
uh, I'm too old to be
Right. Who's
bothered
got
with
time for that, right? You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Uh, and then sometimes like with eyesight, I do notice that too. As a bit older, if I'm trying to read something without my glasses on up close,
Yeah.
that can be a bit challenging that did not used to be. So there are a few signs that, I could be pre-oldie, but,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, having your 40th year high school class reunion,
Yeah.
that sounds like oldie, but again, these songs, what got us on this track to begin with is these songs are just really, they're classic songs, but they're not oldies yet. So,
So, if you were listening to the radio, like you know, I don't know, the local pop station or whatever, I mean, would you be able to pick out any of the newer artists?
I mean, so there are periods of time where I do listen. And, during those periods, like Miley Cyrus, I could pick out Flowers because that's been like played every place.
Mm-hmm.
So I can pick her out. I can pick some Justin Bieber out. Obviously, Ed Sheeran, I could pick him out.
Yeah.
And he's just, recently come back from a break because he had, babies and
Right.
all that, got married and took a little break from touring and all that. But he's back. He's also in court over a copyright, issue, which I really don't understand because the songs do not sound the same to me. But anyways, I could, but then again, there's like a lot of I guess they're famous celebrities that could walk right in front of me and I would have no clue who they are.
Yeah, that's the same for me. I mean, I don't know who, like I don't know. I couldn't even name some of them. Like I hear
Because we
their
don't
names, it's
know
like,
them.
who the hell is that? You know? Or
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, I, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
yeah.
I think lack of TV watching because definitely I don't watch a lot of TV, and the things that I do watch are generally like so right now I'm catching up on The Mentalist.
Mhm.
I'm probably, I don't know, in season 4 of 7 seasons or something. So, The Sopranos, like different shows I have watched like after the fact. And so used to when I was watching a lot of TV, you would automatically just see the new people because it would be
Right.
up there all the time. And so I was a lot more, up to date. And also when I was teaching, I mean, that is one way to stay young and relevant because, they're always talking about their favorites and controversies in music and
Right.
artists and all that. So,
Well,
you know,
you're doing better than me. I moved here to Pennsylvania in early January, and I haven't hooked up one TV in the house yet.
well, Like you can see like American Idol. That's something that I generally used to watch in the early seasons of it. But now like the artists are on like social media,
Mm-hmm.
so it's really not that long until you can see their performance. Like they'll post it themselves. So
Yeah, that's true.
so in some ways, like you can just have a lot more personal connection to things that way, but then you miss out on, like who's on that radio station. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
have
that's
no
true.
clue. And, they're winning awards. And I'm like, okay, really? That's the, best artist? I mean, like, who is it?
That's the best you can do.
Yeah, well, and that kind of like reminds me of the cover band that I went to see.
Yes.
Of the Eagles. So
Yeah.
they're called Seven Bridges. Kind of a cute name based on that song.
And
You know,
what's your assessment of them?
well, I feel like you have to go, it's best if you go into it not expecting them to be the band that they're covering.
Yeah, of course.
Because, I want to say there's only one Eagles, but, there's been more. um,
Yeah.
as people die or what leave the band or whatever, there's replacements. And in fact, last year we saw the Eagles, the real ones, and Vince Gill was one of them. So,
Yeah.
um, I don't know what role that might have played in my thoughts on the cover band, because it is very hard to hear the real thing and then the cover. So, a year apart or even less than a year. I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know how long it's been. But
Less than a year.
um yeah, so there's songs, the music is I love the songs. So no matter who's singing them, even if it wasn't a cover band, like let's say it was females singing the songs, I love the music. So that part of it, I think if you go to the cover band expecting, like I'm just going to interact with this experience of the music, then I think you'll not be disappointed. I've seen AC/DC cover band
Mm-hmm.
to give me a kiss actually on my birthday. Um, so,
Didn't they
and that
take
was
their
in a
shirt off? Didn't one of them take his shirt off or something too?
yes, and they were in like this bar like place
Yeah, yeah.
that I it was like a real bar experience. Yeah, and I've seen a Simon and Garfunkel cover. I don't know if you call it band because they were a duo, but
Right.
I've seen that. So I also saw Rod Stewart one. Kind of an impersonator more so, I guess. But
A Rod
you know,
Stewart impersonator?
yeah, I mean, well, I you can't call him a cover band. I don't really know what
Yeah,
to
yeah.
call him except,
Was he any good?
he was good. He looked a lot like Rod Stewart. Probably not as hard to sound like him because he's
Yeah, he's
got
got the raspy voice and whatever.
yeah, very distinct. The Eagles, the more people in the band that you have to like try to imitate, I would think that would be harder. um
So, was this guy like lounge singer Rod Stewart or like early Rod Stewart?
um so he was, this has been about I want to say about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he was singing like Reason to Believe, and of course Maggie May. I mean, really just Rod's greatest hits. So
No, so he was
but
kind of
but he
all
was an
over.
older looking Rod.
Hmm.
But he danced around, had a lot of audience interaction, as did the AC/DC group. Now, Simon and Garfunkel stayed on the stage. You know, they engaged with the audience like through speaking and that kind of thing, but
Right.
they didn't jump off the stage or any of that. The Eagles, the cover group Seven Bridges, they also did not, come off the stage or anything like that. And
Yeah, yeah. Well,
it,
I mean, I feel like we're forgetting the greatest cover of all from someone who used to be from Barberville, wasn't he?
um, you mean for Elvis?
Yes, yes.
But yeah, Barry, yes,
Yeah.
Barry. He, I mean, he's like he goes to Graceland and
Hmm.
Las Vegas and all over imitating Elvis. So
He is out in, aren't they out in Arizona now or something?
Arizona, I believe, yes, and
Yeah.
you know he wrote a book even
Hmm.
about a character, Belvis, I believe.
Belvis.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say that for 100%, but I think that was his name.
It was a kid's book, wasn't it?
Well, you know, I think he was like like the main character was a little kid that got bullied or
Oh,
something.
okay. I got you.
I think, and
That
but I
sounds
believe,
familiar. When you were telling me about it a while back, I
yeah,
sort of remember that. So,
yeah. So I he, I know it sounds kind of strange, but he did sing at my mother's funeral.
that's
Um,
right. Yeah, I remember that.
it was during COVID when my mom passed away, and so funerals, were limited to 10 people, or it was a really difficult time. And he had been my mom's physical therapist. Barry Lockard is his name. So he was physical therapist, and he had been that for my mom when she started getting really sick. And so he would record little videos and send when she was in the hospital so that, she could see him, because she was all impressed with his Elvis imitation. Apparently, that's how he started, imitating Elvis, was to entertain people in nursing homes and facilities like that. Um, and then when my mom passed away, because we couldn't have live music there, he sang at her virtual funeral,
Yeah, I
Peace in the
remember.
Valley,
Yeah, I
and
remember he said
said
it.
some nice words. So, you know, um, so there's a place for imitators and cover bands, as long as you just go into it, I think, understanding, that
They are
they're not
not the
going to be,
originals. Yeah.
yeah, they're not the originals. But, they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So they must have a love for that group, and their music. And so for that,
Yeah.
you can't find fault with that.
Well, maybe someday there'll be some imitators who, want to immortalize us and flatter us.
I would be very curious to see how, people, like if we had two guest hosts that were like imitating us, to see,
That would be
how that
funny, yeah.
sounds. Yeah, so, that's something we should like maybe have a contest for or something.
Yeah, like find a stand-in for each of us or something. I mean, I already
Yeah.
know of someone who could be a dead ringer for me. Maybe you wouldn't even know that that, you know, someone else was standing in for me.
There are a couple of people I think vying for that position.
Yeah, everybody wants to be me. See that?
You see, you got to be like me and have the different voices, and that way,
Right, yes, yeah.
you know. So it makes it harder for someone to be able to do all of your voices.
Right,
So,
yeah. I remember your
but
mom.
that would be interesting to see how they would portray us.
Yeah, I remember your mom saying that she wouldn't listen anymore if you didn't stop doing all the voices.
I know she doesn't like my happy, exciting voice or whatever.
Yeah, that's not you. That you don't sound like that.
Right. Talk like you sound.
And you couldn't answer. You couldn't start a sentence with so or what was.
Right. And yeah,
Yeah.
I have developed that habit. Yeah, it's interesting because I was listening to some of our earlier episodes, and we didn't repeat or say, or so, or the things like that we have sort of gotten into a habit of lately. We didn't do that in the very beginning, so I'm not sure what happened.
I think we were probably so afraid of your mom not listening or whatever. We needed all the listeners we could get back then. So.
Yeah, when we had like 5 or 10 listeners, we were like, wow, look, we're up to 20.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. 20 a week. That would be awesome.
I know it was, that was the goal back then. So we come a long way, and as we go into season 9, it's been 130 wonderful episodes with you, and I hope we get, I don't know how many more. You can fill in the blank.
More than 130?
Okay. So, yeah, you mean more than 130 more? You mean,
Yeah,
or you mean
130
like
more, yes.
we can only tolerate each other to get through this one?
Right, yeah, 132, and we're. Just
Hey,
kidding, just kidding.
yeah. So, so,
So, see, there you go.
yeah. Well, we got Mother's Day coming up next week, and as I said, Chapel Heart. So I feel like this is going to be great season 9. Got the new music to look forward to. People are already, we'll post something in the group and see what people think of our choice, and you know, go from there. But
Oh, I wanted to ask you, so I hear you're going to see so we were talking about oldies and stuff, and you're going to see another oldies band, is that correct?
okay, well, you these would be all of the ones I'm going to go listen to would be on your oldie station.
True.
However, I'm not going to say that they're oldies. All right, Air Supply. I'm going to Air Supply
Oh my
concert.
God, they are oldies.
I cannot wait to be at Renfro Valley, and I'm like gonna be like so close to Air Supply.
You better hope they don't fall off the stage and land on you or something.
I'll catch them, and then they're just like, I know like all the words to their songs. Like I'm all out of love and
There's only
every.
like 3 of them. I mean,
There's more than that, and even if there were only 3, I know all the words. But
okay.
they do sound similar because they have that kind of, I don't know, like love song, broken heart, love song again kind of
Uh-huh.
feel. Yeah. So I'm going to see them. And also, and this is probably who you were referencing, because you probably forgot about Air Supply. But I'm
Oh
going
no.
to
No, I
see,
didn't.
well, who could, like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
front row
But
for Air Supply.
listen to this lineup. Now, just for one ticket, you get to see all of these. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Brett Michael is the headliner. Oh my God. from Poison, yes, I can also sing all the Poison songs. And they have more than one or two. So,
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
yeah. So, it's not the band. So this is just Brett by himself. I
I'm
guess
pretty
he's
sure
got.
he might do a Poison song or two.
Well, I would hope so because
Yeah.
again, I want to sing "Talk Dirty to Me" and all those ones. So, but besides that is going to be Starship. Okay, no, I only like know a couple of Starship songs, so I can't sing all the words to all of their songs because I don't even know all their songs. But I'm sure they're good, so I'm going to keep my mind open to that.
So they've been around for 100 years. I mean, they used to be Jefferson Airplane, and then they changed it to Jefferson Starship later on, and uh, then I believe they dropped the Jefferson part and just became Starship now. So
Well, and then do you want to tell everyone who is the other group that's going to be there?
oh no, I'll leave that for you.
No, you should say it. It's so good, so good.
All right. Apparently, Night Ranger is going to be there.
Yes, Night Ranger is going to be there. And, of course, they're going to sing Sister Christian, and everybody's. See, in my mind, I know it's like everybody's going to have their phone out because you don't even need lighters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's going to have their phone out, and everybody's going to be singing that. And, oh my gosh, it's just going to be like. See, that's when I have a problem because do I film this moment or do I make it, a candle and like join in? So I
See.
don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. That's a
I
rough
don't
one.
know what I'm gonna do. Take two phones, maybe.
There you go.
Yeah. Would you let me borrow your?
No. No.
Wow. No, see, if the situation were reversed and you were at Air Supply, I would let you borrow my phone
Yeah.
so
Well.
you could record the moment and also be a candle.
I mean, you're virtually guaranteed that I would not be at a Air Supply concert.
Okay. Well, if you were at Hellstorm, I would still let you borrow my phone and film with one and be a candle with the other.
Hmm. So I don't know that I would need a candle sort of thing at a Hailstorm concert, but
I
maybe.
don't know. I mean, not every one of their songs is like
Yeah.
pounding, like driven beats. Is there?
Right.
I think there's some candle worthy songs there.
There might be, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. Certainly not as many as Air Supply might have.
Oh no, and I mean I think I need Kleenex for that concert. you know, like
Oh
oh my
Lord.
gosh, this is so beautiful and so sad.
Yeah,
And
they'll get halfway through and go, what are the words? You sing it, everybody. Because they can't
and
remember.
I will, because I know the words.
Right, yeah.
So, but yes, I do have those concerts coming up, and I'm so
And
excited.
if the keyboard player should happen to have some sort of medical emergency, you could get up there and play.
That's true.
You just take right over.
Yep, I can play trumpet as well. They don't
And
have
rap.
one, I don't think, but
And rap.
yes, yes. So if any of those should happen at Renfrew Valley while I'm there, sure.
Well, there's that to look forward to. You got to get video of that, though.
Well, again, if you would let me borrow your phone, then
Yeah,
I would have a better, chance of that. But
that's true, yeah.
since you've said you won't, I mean, it's a pretty sad day.
Yeah, when your podcast partner won't give up his phone so you can go film Air Supply and do the candle thing or whatever.
Exactly.
Oh wait,
Right.
that was at Night Ranger. I forget.
Well, you know what? They need to like put that out there on the internet. That's how you know like who is your true person. Like,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Who would give up their phone so that you could, I don't know, film a.
Yeah, because like Bon Jovi's like, I would die for you. I
I
would,
thought that
all
was
these.
Prince.
Well, he did say that too. Like a lot of people say that,
uh,
but like now they need to change those lyrics and be like, well, Prince can't because he's passed away, but
yeah.
Bon Jovi still can. Um. Oh no, it isn't Bon Jovi. You know who it is? It's Bryan Adams. Everything I do it for you.
I think he
That's
talks about dying in that song.
Yeah, it's true. Everything I do. Uh, I would die for you.
I think we better check the lyrics on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, whatever he would do for you, I know that he needs to put in there. I would let you borrow my cell phone to be a candle for you.
Yes, yes. I think that should be spelled out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just so you know, Bon Jovi does say that in his song.
Okay. Well, like I said, I believe like a lot of people say that because
Hmm.
you know they say that because they're oldies and
Right. Yeah.
the candle cell phone thing was not an issue until like right now in 2023. So I feel like I need to write that song.
Maybe you could rewrite like "Candle in the Wind" by Elton John.
I don't even have to rewrite it. I mean, I'm living it right now. The hurt that comes from rejection of that cell phone candle. So
Uh,
be looking for that. That will be the new heartbreak
yeah,
song.
yeah, coming to iTunes any day now.
Well, at least to the Facebook group.
Alrighty. Well, all right. So, yeah. Season 9, is it right? Season 9 or 10? 9.
This is 9, but you know what? I want to say this too, because I was also I wanted to go to Stevie Nicks concert. That didn't work out, but I guess it still could, but it's not likely. But anyways, you know, like in a lot of songs in the oldies, people would wonder, like, who are they talking about in that song? So, now you have incriminated yourself and ruined my, chances for like having that great mystery of who, who wouldn't let her borrow the cell phone to be the candle,
Yes, yeah.
So like, thanks, thanks for nothing.
All right. And on that note, let's begin season 9. As always, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, you can send those to Kat at iWritePlays@outlook.com, or you can write to me at backstorysessions@gmail.com or Matt at level11ventures.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
I had it all planned. I'd asked for his hand in the concert hall. It's 2023 after all. That look in his eyes made me first of surprise. Said he'd say yes. I just knew that he'd say yes. So I waited this moment with my phone.